Last month, I moved to another country where I didn't know almost anyone. Due to that, I had spent a lot of time alone and started to get bored. Although I didn't and don't like the concept of Tinder, I decided to create an account to meet people. I spent hours swiping left and swiping right, and having brief conversations with my matches. However, most of them were men that wanted to see me the same day, which scared me a bit. Our story begins when I matched with a 30-year-old girl who didn't wait too long to send me a hi, nor ask me for my phone number. I, who had never used the app before, thought this was normal, and gave my phone number to her without having spoken at all. That was my first mistake. At first everything seemed normal. The girl, which was named Diana, sent me a few voice messages. We talked briefly and in superficial ways about ourselves. She seemed very interested in talking to me, since on several occasions she would double text me when I didn't answer quickly, and I'm not gonna lie, I found that curious. However, I paid no attention. The second day of talking to her, she asked me out to meet her somewhere, and even though our conversations had been superficial, I said yes, and we set a place in an hour. But hours before our meet, I regretted it, deleted Tinder, and sent her an apology message. That was where things got weird. She texted me that it was fine, but a few minutes later, she sent me several messages and deleted them within a second, so I couldn't read them. A couple of hours later, she tried to video call me. I didn't answer and told her I was busy. She just called me again and again. I kept saying that I was busy, but still. She called me twice at 2 a.m. By that time, I was out and drunk, so I blocked her. I felt a little bad about it, but come on. I'm a woman in her early 20s, living in a foreign country, so at the same time, I felt relief that was over, except it wasn't. I woke up to a hello from an unknown number, which profile picture on WhatsApp was one of an old man. I asked him who he was, and in less than a minute I received the answer. It said, "Hi, it's Diana. This is my dad's number. Why did you block me? Did I annoy you?" Even in spite of how bizarre that was, I tried to empathize with her and answered with the truth. Again, she told me it was fine, and I blocked her dad's number. In less than 2 hours, I received another message from another unknown number. It said, "Hey, it's Diana. Why do you keep blocking me? I need to talk to you. Text me." At this point, I no longer find it funny and tell her I'm not interested in talking to her, and she literally tells me, "I need to tell you something. There's a girl who's harassing me. She does black magic." I repeat that I'm not interested, and she goes like, "You don't believe me, don't you?" I blocked her again for the third time. Anyway, I really don't know if this is some kind of strange joke, but I think I can say that my first experience using Tinder was tragic. I wonder if it's always that way though, because I've been thinking about downloading the app again. At least I know next time I shouldn't share my phone number with someone I haven't talked to at all. Let's hope for the best, and Diana, let's never meet again. So I downloaded Tinder when I was 18, and being single in a big city, I ended up going on a lot of fun dates. One guy really caught my attention because, well, he was really attractive. We chatted a bit, and I felt pretty into him, so I decided we could meet for coffee. He was sweet, charming, and we had a great conversation about school, art, and music. We found out we were both musicians, and the date was going so well that I agreed to walk the few blocks back to his house so he could play some music for me. I was new to online dating and was still fairly naive, so I followed him home into his weird converted garage bedroom and sat down on the couch while he pulled out his keyboard. He played for a while, and I started to get a little antsy. He was super into the music and getting kind of aggressive with the keyboard. He was slamming keys down and making these weird noises, so I shot up out of my seat and told him that I should get going soon. He totally went back to normal. His tone changed and his posture became less hunchbacked, so when he apologized for getting carried away, I agreed to sit back down on the couch so we could talk more. He came, sat down next to me, and we went back to our earlier conversation. He seemed back to normal and nice. So when he asked if he could kiss me, I agreed. He leaned in towards me and I closed my eyes waiting, and I waited but didn't feel his lips. So I opened my eyes a peek and saw him staring at me. I threw my head back surprised, but he had shaked his hand back toward my hair and interweaved his fingers so I couldn't move. He then inhaled deeply and told me, "You smell like you're Jewish. I can tell because you smelled my aunt's house." I was totally freaked out at this point, partly because, yes, I am Jewish, and I tried to wiggle away from him, frantically stating that I had to go. Then he jumped on top of me and to my horror started sobbing, yelling at me that he's so sorry he made me feel uncomfortable. His body weight was completely preventing me from moving, so I forced myself to rub his back. I told him that I wasn't uncomfortable at all, and that he was really sweet. He made me promise over and over again that I'd see him again before finally getting off of me. I moved to the door and tried calmly to tell him that I really needed to go, but he was blocking my way, and all I could think of was that I needed him to let me leave. I couldn't fight him off. He told me I needed to kiss him before I could leave, and I quickly pecked him on the lips. He smiled at me, and I was glad he didn't expect more. "Call me, please." "I think that went well," he said as he opened up the garage door, and I scurried out. I called my mom and started crying as soon as I was far enough away. She called me a cab home, and I blocked him from every way we had contacted each other. I saw him once after that on campus, and that was enough for me, so I hope we never meet again. Edit. Okay, so I'll add some extra information that I've been asked. We very loosely have mutual friends. He was friends with my old roommate, who I no longer was in contact with for very different reasons. I found out after he knew her because he sold her drugs. I did in fact contact the police. This happened when I was 18. I'm 22 now. Nothing more came out of it. He did share that he had really bad anxiety. However, I was not aware that he was self-medicating with drugs, which were probably the cause of this incident. Last I heard, he was in another state growing weed and hasn't tried to contact me in almost 2 years.